What up, everybody? This is part 3 and the final part of my Xbox One game collection. Should be the final part because I don't have as many to show off now, so yeah. The Elder Scrolls Skyrim. What can be said about it, It's like, the game's overrated as all hell, I'll be honest. And it's only worth playing on Xbox or PC if you use mods. So, yeah. The Sims 4 bundle, it's Sims 4 bundled with the Island Living expansion pack. I got this like less than $10. Couldn't pass it up because it costs like $40 just to get the DLC itself. And that's without the game. So yeah. The Technomancer, a lot like Greedfall. You know how Greedfall is like a cheap knockoff of whatever, of like Dragon Age? Well, this is kind of like a cheap knockoff of Mass Effect. And again, just because I'm calling them a cheap knockoff doesn't mean they're not good or not worth checking out. As a matter of fact, I think Technomancer might be better than Mass Effect in a few departments. Same thing when it comes to Greedfall. I like it more than I do Dragon Age, So yeah, speaking of good RPGs and whatnot, we got The Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt. Yeah, another really good game I recommend. I don't know how it is with everybody else, but for me, it runs better on the Xbox One than what it did on the PS4. I couldn't even play it on the PS4 because I kept running into game-breaking glitches. And yes, they were game-breaking glitches. Because I literally could not get further or advance or whatever because for some reason I would be doing this one mission where I'm supposed to light this thing on fire. And I would light it on fire, but the game wouldn't register that I lit it on fire. And no matter how many times I resetted it, loaded the game back up and everything, it still kept doing like that. So I couldn't play it on PS4. But I ain't running into that issue when it comes to the Xbox One edition. So yeah. Tiny Tina Wonderlands. I'm so glad I waited for this to get a permanent price drop down to $20. It's a good game. I like it, but at the end of the day, it's just Borderlands with a different paint job. That's all it is. So, yeah, it's nothing special. Ghost Recon Wildlands. Don't care what anyone says. I like this game. I think it's great. It's actually called. I think it's called Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon. Yeah, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. But yeah, I think this is good, and it's definitely a lot better than Breakpoint. I'm going to be honest. A lot of people hate that game for whatever reason, I don't know, but for me, I thought it was great. Was it something that was worth full $60 when it first came out? No. But for what I paid for it, I'm like, whatever. I think I got like $20, so yeah. Next one here is, and this is in my own opinion, this is the best from the overall series, and that is Tomb Raider Anniversary. Yeah, it's like the very first Tomb Raider, only they enhanced the graphics, and I think they added some extra content to it also. So yeah, but it's a really, really good Tomb Raider game. That's back when I actually liked Lara Croft, because back then she actually had a personality worth mentioning. She had all these acrobatics and everything to her abilities and whatnot. It was so good. And then they decided to, when they rebooted it, they're like, oh yeah, here's you a gussied up cheerleader that don't have no personality whatsoever, pretty much. And that is what we got with Tomb Raider, which a lot of people, this is their favorite one. For me, I'm like, because to me, this is nothing but a generic guerrilla shooter. That's all this one feels like. It doesn't feel like a true Tomb Raider game. This one, however, actually did feel like a true Tomb Raider game. At least out of the reboots, it was the one that felt closest to a traditional Tomb Raider game. And that is Rise of the Tomb Raider. And then Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I got both Rise and Shadow on that 5 for 10 deal, or 4 games for 10 if you get them for $5 less. So yeah, that's how I got those games. So yeah, next one here is Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care for it. It's just not that great. If they would have made it where we were no longer restricted to a time limit, I would have loved it. Granted, it's still annoying you can't get on or off the board, but at the end of the day, if they could have at least done away with the time limit, I would have enjoyed it a lot more. Next one here is Watch Dogs Legion. I seen this on the clearance up there at Walmart, and I'm like, it was like $5. I was like, I'll go ahead and check it out, and you know what? I'm glad I did. I heard a lot of people say, well, it never got fixed, this, that, and the third. I'm like, well, I don't know what portion of the game they're playing, but maybe it's the multiplayer that never got fixed. But if you play this as a single-player game, then it's actually really good. And it works just fine. Maybe it's a PS4 thing, I don't know. But, yeah. Now, here's the game that unfortunately the people complaining about it are 100% right and never got fixed. And that is We Happy Few. I heard it was like a spin-off of BioShock. I'm like, ooh, I love BioShock, so maybe I'll love this game. And I would love this game if they actually fixed it. Unfortunately, they didn't really fix it, so yeah. Then you got Wolfenstein: The New Order bundled with Wolfenstein: The Old Blood. Really love the Wolfenstein series. They're really good. I definitely, recommend checking them out. Got Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. And Wolfenstein: Young Blood. Yeah, I have the whole set when it comes to the Wolfenstein games. I still need to get the, what was it called? Wolfenstein 3D. If it's possible to get that, I need to get that one because it's like a classic Doom game. So yeah. Wreckfest, another one I got from some guy through some kind of deal or whatever. And yeah, I turned out to love it. At first, I thought it was one of those online only kind of games, and then when I got it, I'm like, oh no, I can play this offline. This is great. So yeah. WWE 2K15. I only have that game because it's the only up-to-date wrestling game that has CM Punk in it. And it really is going to be the only up-to-date wrestling game that has CM Punk in it, since they removed him from the up-and-coming AEW video game. So yeah, which is stupid on their part, but whatever. Unfortunately, this will not reinstall on the Xbox One, so I'm not able to play it, but I just have it in my collection, and that is WWE 2K16. For some reason, there's like issues with copyright or something like that, because of it being a yearly release game, and it's only like that on the Xbox. You can reinstall it all you want on the PS4, but when it comes to the Xbox, you can't reinstall that, which doesn't make sense because I was able to reinstall 2K15 just fine. I was even able to reinstall this one just fine, which is WWE 2K17. Another one I got from that deal at GameStop where it's like buy 4 games for $5 or less, for only $10. This one it reinstalls just fine. WWE 2K18. Unfortunately, WWE 2K19 was another situation like 2K16, so I was able to, reinstall it. I no longer have 2K20 because, quite frankly, that game's a piece of shit. The only purpose to really even have that game is just to look pretty on your shelf. That's really the only purpose it serves. But the last one I have here is WWE 2K22. Yeah, I actually lied back in the day whenever I said I sold it. I didn't sell it. I only said that to get the fanboys off my back, like for real. Because, God forbid, I have my disagreements with the game or whatever. So I had fanboys getting on my ass like crazy about that. Constantly want me to constantly make videos on it and everything else. I'm like, dude, I've talked about that game so much. I've covered everything there is to cover, gone over everything there is to go over and everything. Like at this point, I'm just milking content on that game. So I didn't want to talk about it no more. But yet I had these people constantly getting on me, want me to talk about it. So I said, I can't talk about it, I sold it. And then after that, it's like, oh, then that same person kept harassing me and everything, going on about how, oh, I can't believe you sold it, whatever, like, kept trying to guilt me and everything else. So I'm like, dude, so I was like, fuck it, I blocked the person, it was done. I didn't want to do that because, quite frankly, he wasn't being, like, he wasn't, like, throwing out petty insults or anything. But at the end of the day, he was really bad about harassing me about it and everything. So, yeah. But that's all the Xbox games I have to show off. So, yeah, this has been part 3. Y'all take care. God bless and peace.